Mike asked us this morning. What'd you say about the phone call and the $1 billion and happiness?
Well, let's give him the full context.
That's pretty much it.
A guest of this show, a prior host of this show, who you have all become in love with and are quite committed to in your lives, I'm sure, because you watched 150 episodes of them, has recently found what he calls true happiness in Hawaii. He is happy as a fucking clam in shit, a pig in shit, a clam in a shit shell. I don't fucking know. He's happy. So he lives in Hawaii. He's super happy.
The sentiment is there.
And what did you say? You said,
I said this. Spencer, bro, I fucking love you. I love you with all my heart. I just said this. I think when we see Spencer again, he's not going to be the kid who he was when he left this show.
Which is probably a good thing, right? People change.
Maybe.
But he's super happy and somehow
happy as a clam.
Happy as a clam and shit. And I said, it's funny because there are a bunch of people there are probably people tomorrow who might make $1 billion in one day. And he might say, wow, that person made $1 billion in one day. And look at Spencer's, maybe what you would consider fleeting happiness as something that is subpar to that $1 billion. And I said, what did I say exactly?
The premise was this. Mike said, I would rather get the call from someone who said, hey, yo, what's good? I just found true joy and happiness, pure elation, than, yo, I made $1 billion yesterday. I said no.
Yeah, you were adamant on this. You're very defensive.
I said no, and here's why. Bro, I get it. Money doesn't buy happiness.
It actually pushes happiness away. I'm starting to believe that. I truly do believe that money is, quite honestly, the root of evil.
Should I describe the scenario as I saw it?
Wait, but
to an extent.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Let me explain.
Keep going.
My argument was this. Happiness, and I'll just use Spencer. Spencer, he's either A, happy, or B, he thinks he's happy. A lot of people fall into the trap that I'm happy. Happiness can be fleeting if you're not living in a constant state of elation, or you're like wired differently where it's harder for you to achieve happiness. I think it can be dangerous to assume that you're happy when tomorrow you might be sad. A week from now you might find like a chronic sadness that leads into like depression. Like happiness is a state of mind that is not permanent.
Not a destination.
It is not a destination.
Nice.
It is not a destination.
Nice, Dylan.
Fucking perfect. It is a journey that you're trying to reach your whole life. It could be gone. You make $1 billion, you got it in the bank account in one day. That is sick. I'm not saying it'll make you happy, but with $1 billion, man, something tells me you ain't gonna be sad all the time.
Except they kill themselves all the time. All the time. Psychologists say they found the exact amount of money you need to be happy. 2018 article. This study analyzed data from over 1.7 million people in 164 countries. $75,000 a year, right? The ideal income for individuals is $95,000 a year for life satisfaction and $60,000 to $75,000 a year for emotional well-being. The study published in the journal Nature Human Behavior found that once the threshold was reached, further increases in income were actually associated with reduced happiness. Researchers defined life satisfaction as an overall assessment of how one is doing, while emotional well-being refers to a person's day-to-day feelings such as happiness, sadness, excitement, and anger. This is the final part. There is a happiness tipping point. The more you have, the more you want, the study concluded. The small decline puts one's level of well-being closer to individuals who make slightly lower incomes, perhaps due to the cost that comes with highest incomes.
Okay, all right, here's my argument. That tipping point has a cap. We're not talking about millionaires. We're not talking about multimillionaires. I'm talking about billionaires.
I'm sure they included them in the study. I'm absolutely positive they did.
So even if they didn't, Mike mentioned to me that earlier. How did you say it? That like you know billionaires that are sad and
absolutely. Well, I mean, you could just look at 100 millionaires and billionaires who have committed suicide. Clearly, they it may have been other mental.
So now I'll ask you to like who.
Oh, I mean.
Because my argument to Mike was,
I love Google. It's my favorite fucking thing.
By the way, you're gonna find there's not one. You're gonna find some, but you don't. It's not happening like crazy, dude. What I'm saying is this.
Well, I mean, proportionately, obviously, you're not going to hear as many stories of 100 millionaires who've committed suicide because there's not as many of them. So the story is going to be much less saturating than the percentage of people who do it without it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a less prevalent story.
I disagree. I disagree.
What do you mean?
I think
there's definitely less 100 millionaires than there are people without $100 million.
And that is why if they were to end their life, the story should be that much more prevalent.
And it is. But I've seen it.
Like how many times? Like once, twice?
I don't know.
My argument to Mike was just like, do you know, have billionaires opened up to you about how they're feeling? Do they?
And I said yes. I said
constant
one.
Sadness.
I said one because my mother works directly for a guy in Connecticut that is a multi-billionaire. I've had multiple very long conversations with him. Go ahead, slam dunk it. What do you? I don't know.
I'm going to give you a layup. So here's why Mike may actually be right. This was my original opinion. We were having a conversation, and we did an analogy. I love analogies. And I want you to stand up.
Oh shit!
I want you to do this with me.
Do
you remember what you said?
Oh yeah.
At the end. Okay, cool. So this was the analogy. I said you make $1 billion. It's in your bank account. That is awesome. Technically, like you did it. Happiness. This is happiness.
There's a man running around the stage.
He's saying happiness is fleeting. You think you found it.
You have to chase it. He's joyous. He's light. He's running around. He's hiding now, and you have to go look for him. Happiness is hiding in the bathroom.
All right. They get it. Come on.
He's really making a scene. Happiness doesn't want to be seen. Happiness is now returned.
What is it? What do we got?
How long was the camera not connected while I was running around?
About 30 seconds.
Probably should have told him sooner, don't you think, guys?
Was it connected before that though? Yeah.
Hey, look. The point is this. That's what I'm saying. Happiness, bro. You feel good one day, you don't. Happiness is running away from you. You're chasing it. You want to get it? I said, yo, you make $1 billion in one day. This is that.
There's a large 220-pound man approaching a feeble old man. He jumps on him. It's $1 billion holding in his hands.
You got it, bro.
But it's quite the burden.
Bingo! My fucking back.
Matt goes.
Exactly.
Matt goes. But Logan, how much of a burden was that? Sorry, but Mike, how much of a burden was that?
It almost killed me. It almost broke my back. It made me want to sever all of my relationships with my family out of fear that they were after me for my money. It was terrible.
So I was like, oh shit, maybe you're fucking right. I don't know.
That said, we also have this research. So
yeah, but I mean, that research, man, everyone knows that like every single person on the entire planet is different. If you had $1 million today, you might be happy. If you gave $1 million to a person who's chronically depressed, they might still have issues.
I don't like what you're doing right now because what it's doing is it's discounting scientific research. They pulled 1.7 million fucking.
I understand that, but did they go into
MarketWatch.com?
Brother,
did they go
once
into
again, you're discounting because here's MarketWatch is one of the most watched and trusted sites for.
I'm not denying science.
Market and market moving and stock analysis.
What I'm saying is outside of their scope, there might be people that are very happy with less.
I get
people
it.
that live in third world countries that have absolutely no money.
Do you want to have a conversation about what's called outliers versus dependents and independents?
We get that, but we don't know who they interviewed.
This is 1.7 million people. You're bringing up the exceptions to the rule, which are these people that live in third world
billions
countries.
of people that live in less than ideal situations
but
and that are happy. So are we equating money with happiness? Are we trying to, I understand this is the ideal sum of money that a person could have to make them happy.
I get it.
But is that true for everyone? And it's not. It is not. You can't say this is the
subjective. You're 100%
subjective.
right. And also on that same note, like even though this is a fun article, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't publish this with some sort of like hoping it would have some sort of impact. But I guess what they're getting at is, and I've read the whole article in the past, is that as you start to make a ton of money, 500,000 a year, then 750. A lot of these people, all they start thinking about is how do I do 1-2? How do I do 2-4? How do I do 4-8? How do I do? And then the wife's sitting there. She's fucking the guy that's making 50,000 a year cleaning the pool. And all this other shit is happening on the side because the only thing you're thinking about is relevancy, money. How do I get more cars, planes, flights, vacations? And that shit, that constant chase for more in life is very, very just draining.
Problematic. Like the more money you come upon, the more problems you'll see.
More money, more problems, bro.
Yeah.
Biggie Smalls, he's exactly fucking right. And it's not even just the problems that come along with it. It's that chase. It's that inability to be content with the things that you have in life. And so that's why they say
I'm just, yeah. No, but by the way, you're all right. And I'm not sure where, like, I finally land on this. Obviously,
facts.
Spencer's calling me and telling me he's truly happy is fucking amazing. It's heartwarming. I like,
What if
like,
Spencer-
all power to the kid.
Yeah.
But it just started this hypothetical conversation that I found interesting.
And the stunt was interesting too.
The stunt?
Where you jumped on me.
Physical comedy.
Well, you just showed.
Oh yeah, because I jumped on Mike and he didn't expect me to earlier. He's like, my fucking back. And Max like,
He was.
"See
He
how much
goes. I'm $1 billion, and I was like, this sucks, dude. Take it back, bro.
Yo, what happens if Spencer called you and he's like, yo, I just made $1 billion?
Guess what?
And I'm truly happy.
if he wasn't happy, something tells me he'd be able to find happiness, whether or not he had $1 billion. That's why I know, like, bro, the $1 billion is like a
Yeah,
passing, like,
but
it
if
could
you
be air. But if you're capable of finding happiness, you're gonna find it eventually, $1 billion or not.
If you're capable of
and how
finding
much
happiness.
money, more problems. But how much money until there's no fucking problems because you can do whatever you want.
Well, no, but not all problems or situations in life are affected by money, and so you end up with money hungry girls. You end up with family members who disown you because they want the right inheritance size. It's fucked up and weird to think about it, but when you look at the world's billionaires that have so much fucking money, bro, that they shouldn't have any problems in life, the only thing they're doing is trying to figure out how to become the next step on the billionaire chart. That's what they do all
They're
fucking
driven.
day, every day.
They're driven people. And if you
guess,
have
I
$1
guess.
billion, you got to have some way to make that $1 billion and maintain it. So you have to have things in place, whether that's some industry that you're a magnate in, whether that's some sort of stock portfolio. And I mean, what happens if the world economy tanks one day and all of a sudden you lose your $1 billion? You got to constantly fuel that fire so that you don't lose your money.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? It's like-
Don't confide your happiness in money. Don't confide your happiness in other people, bro. Find that shit. Find that shit right here, and you gonna have a good ass life.